Hello everyone, so thank you for joining this webinar. So today we are going to see how to launch a peer assessment of work in the ChallengeMe platform. So first we'll see the difference between the peer assessment of work and the peer assessment of group members. And then we're going to see what is technically a challenge. And after I will show you how you will be able to launch a ChallengeMe activity in the ChallengeMe platform directly. So maybe first to introduce myself, my name is Jean, and at ChallengeMe, I'm in charge of supporting the users in the use of the platform. So if you have technical questions or pedagogical questions, you can ask me directly. We are integrated in the main LMS of the market, like Moodle, Blackboard, Brightspace, or other LMS. And we work mainly with business schools, engineering schools, and universities, mainly in France, but we also we begin to work in Switzerland and Canada. So let's go into the matter. So at ChallengeMe, we distinguish two kinds of peer review. The first one is what we call the assessment of work. So this is the theme of this webinar, the assessment of work. So here the idea is to allow the student to upload the work to the platform, and then we will ask them to assess the work of others following criteria defined by the teacher. And at the end, they will be able to see the different feedback they received on their productions. So the idea here is to let them enhance their technical skills, also called the hard skills, by reviewing the work of others, because they will have to focus their attentions on the different criteria defined by the teacher. And so they will assimilate notions while assessing their peers. And they will also learn by receiving the feedback of others, because they will have different approaches on their work, allowing them to have better chance to have an approach that speaks to them more. And we have the second kind of peer reviews. This is not the theme of this webinar, but just to inform you, this is the assessment of group members. So this assessment takes place after a group work. And here we'll ask the student to assess their group members directly with whom they have collaborated on behavioral criteria. So it can be communication within the group, it can be initiative taking, self-management, leadership, etc. So we have a criteria base you can pick from. And the idea is to allow the students to rate their teammates following this criteria. It will help them to prepare themselves for the professional world, allowing how to understand how to give an efficient feedback and how to receive the feedback, what is the posture to receive feedback. It will then allow them to improve their soft skills, and for the teacher, it will help them to identify what we call the free riders, which is the students will not be really will not really participate to the group. So today we focus on the assessment of work. So what is a challenge? A challenge is a succession of phases, of type of phases. So we have different type of phases. In the first example, we can see that we have a first phases called the submission phases in green. So here the students will submit a work to the platform. Then we have a work assessment phases. So here we'll ask the student to assess the work of others submitted in the first phase. And then we have the results phases, allowing the student to find out their feedback, the feedback they received. And we can have a different format of challenge. So we can have simple format. That's the most used because they answer lots of use cases. But if you have a specific scenario you want to launch, you can also do it. Here, for example, in the example 3, you have two submission phase and two work assessment phase. So for example, you can have the first assessment phase where the participant will be the students, and the second one can be the assessment by the teachers. if you want both grade, one by peers and one by the teacher. So today I will show you how to launch the example 2, which is the submission of work by the students and the assessment of this work by the students as well. And here we can see the different type of phases we have. So I told that we have a work submission phases, where the participant can submit a work assessment phases, where the participant can assess the work of others, evaluation of group members, allowing the student to assess their group members with whom they have collaborated on behavioral criteria, the evaluation of feedback, where the students will be able to find out the feedback they received and indicate if they found this feedback relevant or not, and results facing, allowing the students to find out their grade and their feedback. So now I can show you what it looks like directly in ChallengeMe. So I will switch my screen to show you directly in the browser. Okay, so normally you should be able to see my screen. So first I will show you what it looks like in the student side, and then I will show you how you can launch a challenge by yourself directly in the Moodle environment. I explain it in Moodle, but it works exactly in the same way if you use Brightspace or Blackboard. So here I'm logged in as a student, and to access a ChallengeMe activity, I just have to click on it in my course. So here I will land on this interface. So this interface will allow me to participate to some phases. So here I have lots of phases, but let's imagine I just need to submit a work and to assess a work. I will have only some phases. So I will only go through the different phases that will be interesting in the assessment of work use case. So the first phase is the submission of work in green. So here I can see the instruction as a student to understand what I have to produce. And here I can submit my work. So my work can be submitted as text or as attachment. So I can attach any the amount of file I want. It can be PDF, it can be video, audio. We accept all kinds of files. And these files can be done individually or in groups. So here it will be in group because I can see my members just here. And once I did my work, I can click on validate. This is for the first phases. You can see that each phases has a start date and end date. So if I want, so once my submission phases is done, and if the assessment of work phases has begun, I will be able to access it. So I can access it by clicking on these phases, or just by clicking again on my activity in my LMS. Here I will be able to see the different work I have to assess as a student. So here I can see that I have to assess three other work. On the left side, I will be able to see the work that I have to assess, and on the right side, the different criteria I can use to assess this work. Each criterion can be rated from 1 to 10 stars, and I can see the description of this criterion as a student by clicking on the information button to understand how to grade this criterion. I can also give a qualitative feedback, allowing me to indicate what are the strengths and what are the areas to improve in this work. And once it's done, like I can go on validate. Then I can find out my results. I won't show you today the two other phases because this is not the main goal of this webinar. So I will show you directly the results phases. So in the result faces, I will be able to see my result on the grade I received in my productions and the feedback. So I have my score out of 10. So here this is 7 out of 10. And I can see the average by criteria to understand what criteria have been rated well and the others, and the different feedback I received on my work, allowing me to understand how to improve it. So everything is anonymous, and this interface is fully customizable by the teacher. So if you only want to display the feedback and not the grade, it's possible. If you want to display the grade and not the feedback, it's also possible. And if you want to not display anything, you just have to not add a result faces to your challenge. But I will show you how just after. So this is for the student side, and now we'll show you how you can launch a challenge by yourself directly on a learning management system like Moodle. So to do it, I have to log in as a teacher. And then I will be able to add an activity by switching to edition mode in a course. And then I can click on add an activity or resources. And here I will be able to choose ChallengeMe activity. I will name my activity and I will click on save and display. I can click on open a new window if I have this window open. And here I will be redirected to this interface. So here I can see that I can create a challenge with two modes. The simplified mode, allowing me to complete a form with the information asked. And at the end, the ChallengeMe team will check the challenge you just created to see if everything is correct, and we need to validate it to be ready for the students. So once you validate a challenge in simplified mode, it's sent to us, we validate it, and then it's ready. The idea here is to let the teachers that want to launch a challenge to do it without having any technical skills in ChallengeMe, and to be sure that it will work correctly, because our team will check it. If you want to not having this step of validation by our team, you can use the direct mode. So today I will show you the direct mode to show you how you can create a challenge directly in the ChallengeMe platform. If you're interested in the simplified mode, you can try to click on it and complete the form if needed. So here I can click on direct mode, and then I can choose the kind of challenge I want to launch. I will just switch in English. Okay. Sorry, it's not in English, so I'm just making a quick change. Okay, so now it's in English. And here I will choose the assessment of rock, because this is the theme of this webinar. Once I click on it, I can choose a template I can use for my challenge. So the most used template is the submission and assessment of rock, because with this template, we'll allow the student to submit a rock to the platform and then to assess the rock of others. If you are interested in other templates, do not hesitate to try it. And here I can name my challenge. I can add a summary if needed. And I will see here in the phase settings section the different phases of my challenge. So here I have a summation of rock phases, an assessment of rock, and this results phase. To edit a phase, I just have to click on it. And here I can see that I have some information I can fill. So the first is the date. So I can define a start date and an end date. I can activate some notification, and I can also add. I can also allow the late submission until a date I will define. I can also define instructions to indicate to the student what kind of rock they have to produce. And I can also import participant. So if you want to add participant from your LMS, you can choose from these two buttons. So enroll in teams if it's a group work, or enroll individuals if it's a work that have to be done individually. If you don't have the group in your LMS, you can import them directly by clicking on import participant. Once you will click on it, you will have to copy paste from an Excel sheet your users and the groups. You can check the format needed in this section. Once you complete this step, you can edit the assessment phase. So here you will define date, instruction as well, like the first phase, and the evaluation criteria. So here you can pick predefined criteria from ChallengeMe database here. So to do it, you just have to take them with this button. So here I selected 2 and click on select. You can also create your own criteria by clicking on add criteria and name your criteria and define as well a description. Each criterion will be rated from 1 to 10 stars. Then you can define some options. If you want the global feedback enabled, so by default it's activated. You can make it mandatory if needed. And you can define the number of work to be assessed per participant. So here it's a 3. I will let 3 because it's a good number and it works well usually. But if you want to modify it, you can. Regarding the participant, you can enroll students here as well. But if it's the same students who participate to the simulation phase and the same students have to participate to the assessment work phase, you can choose this button. So reuse enrollment from phase, and here you will choose the phase you want to reuse. So here it will be the submission of work phase. So let's imagine you ask a student to submit a work in group in the first phase that you want the student to assess individually. You will choose submission of work phase individually. And then the students enrolled in the first phase will have to assess in the second phase, but individually. And in the result phase, you can indicate the kind of data you want to display to the students. So here you have some options you can activate or not. So the first option is the average score. For each criterion, you can activate the detail of the score received and the feedback received. Once everything is done, you just have to click on Publish to make it available for the students. At this moment, they will be able to participate by clicking on this activity regarding the start date and the end date of each phase you defined. If you need help on some part, do not hesitate to ask to us, and we will be able to help you in some action. So imagine you face difficulties by importing your users. Just let us know, and we will help you. And now I can show you when a challenge is launched, how can you administrate it. So to do it, you just have to have the good right in the course, so the teacher right. So if you share a course with other teachers, they will also be able to manage your challenge. So I just have to click on the challenge already launched, and then I will be redirected because I have the right of teacher in this interface, allowing me to see the different phases of my challenge. So here I have different charts. So here it's a chart of distribution of score. So I have only sample data. That's why I don't have lots of data here. But here it's a distribution of score. You can see the average by criteria to see if some criteria have been rated better than the others. And here I have the detail of my participant to see their participation on each phases. So here I can see, for example, the name, first name, the group, etc. And if they have validated a work, here I can see how many feedbacks they received on their work, the score they received, how many feedback they sent, etc. If I have other faces, I can see the different data of the other faces. So if I want to see some specific feedback of a student, I just have to click on it. And I will be able to see the average by criteria comparing with the average of the class and the detail of each feedback received for these students to see what the student received exactly. I can also see the sent evaluations of these students to see which teams she has rated and what are the feedbacks she gave. If I want to manage some assessment, I can do it by the action button. So I can edit the assessment, I can set as draft, set as invalid, etc. So I'm done with this presentation. I know this is lots of information. So if you have questions or if you need some resources, do not hesitate to ask us, and then we will send you and we will answer your question with pleasure. If you need to plan a specific meeting because you want to discuss about a project and you want us to help you to set it up, it's not a problem. We can totally plan a meeting allowing to help you to prepare your challenge and to inform you what are the best settings for your project. Thank you, everyone. I wish you a pleasant day, and I hope to see you in ChallengeMe.